Oh no, guys, this is terrible. Okay guys, so here's the stitch on this vehicle. So she actually had another mobile mechanic come out. I know guys, but here's the deal. He diagnosed it and he told her that it was the water pump. Well, I'll tell you what the problem is in that scenario is. Take a look at this. So guys, she wasn't overheating or anything. The issue was leaking, okay? And he said the water pump was leaking. Well, here's the deal. But the only problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, is as you can see, this has an internal water pump. I feel like sometimes when a person doesn't know what they're talking about, they literally are like, they turn into a magician all of a sudden. They start pulling shit out of a hat, and literally it's just rebuttal after rebuttal. They don't know what they're saying whatsoever. So anyways, let's go ahead and do a proper diagnosis on this, guys. I'm gonna fill up the system with some coolant. I'm gonna run it through its systems. I'm gonna verify. I'm gonna visually check everything first before I start pressurizing it up with the pump and everything, because that can be a little bit time consuming. I'm gonna see if it's something simple, something that I can visibly see. So let's give it a shot. And obviously I wouldn't recommend this coolant on this vehicle. The only reason why I'm using it on this vehicle, guys, is so I can find the leak. This is the cheapest coolant. And I mean, do you want to waste the appropriate coolant and spend like $13, $14 a gallon just for it to drain out? You know what I mean? I mean, come on. She was thirsty. Bingo. Okay guys, so if you can see what I can see, we got steady drippage right down there at the bottom side of the motor. So let's go ahead and see what the hell that's about. So, didn't even have to start the car. See guys, this is why it's important just to sometimes do the easy stuff first. See that? Alright guys, so right up where it's dripping from right here, there's the thermostat housing, and right below that thermostat housing there's a weep hole. And that weep hole allows the water pump basically to leak before it combines with the oil, because this is an internal water pump. So, all right, so it's a little bit hard to see, but right there, that hose, it goes to the secondary housing right here. And sometimes it can get confusing because sometimes that housing can just leak and then people will think that it's like a water pump, or vice versa. The water pump will be leaking and they'll think it's that housing. There is obviously a leak and it does look like it's coming from the water pump. Now here's the deal. Before I take that scenario route and then we have to do all that work, there's no way to see. Here's the deal. So right behind this power steering pump is a radiator hose, and that radiator hose has another housing, and that housing right there could possibly be leaking. And then, but if it's not that housing, right below it is a weep hole, and that weep hole leaks for the water pump in case the water pump goes out. It doesn't want to combine the oil and ruin the engine. So ergo, they made a weep hole for it. So we're gonna have to take this belt off, pull that power steering pump out real quick, and get a good visual on that that housing right there, and make sure that that's not our problem. For customer's sake, though, please let it be the housing. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's the problem, but let's see. All right, here's the deal. I had to do that because of this. Now we can see clearly. Okay, so, well, I could already tell, but I wanted to show my viewers. Guys, is the only way to determine whether or not if it's that gasket or if it's that weep hole. Like I said, I could tell on the bottom that it was the weep hole. I could felt around it and everything, but I wanted to show you guys because I know there's going to be a few skeptics. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so as you can see, we had to remove that to get to here. So, but I still can't see that weep hole, so we're going to go ahead and remove this hose completely. But I'm not able to get this radiator hose out by twisting it or anything. I can't get a tool on there. So, you see this little tool? Take a look at this. Just take it on back. It gets behind the hose like that. See? And then we can just work it around. Just like that. Okay, well, I still can't get a clear visual, so I'm going to remove the power steering bracket altogether and see if that helps. So hell yeah, guys, you see that? So it looks like that gasket is leaking. It doesn't look like the weep hole is leaking, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this off and then take a look for myself. There may be hope for this thing yet, so let's see. Here's the deal. Very important part of the video. So, there's the weep hole. Right there. And you see it's not coming out of the weep hole, it's dropping on the weep hole. So take a look at that. Right there. It's dripping from this lower right side part of the hose. And what you guys know what that means. It's not a water pump situation, so thank God. Even though, I mean, a water pump on this thing would be pretty easy to do, it's just expensive, so. All right, let's go ahead and notify the customer that it's just that gasket back there. It's going to be like a two-parter gasket because you see both of those hoses go into the same housing. But I'm actually going to request that we replace that housing and everything as well because that housing's new, our T-fitting is new. And guys, that's all thanks to the other freaking mobile mechanic that came out and put a bunch of water in it and freezing temperatures. I mean, shit, dude. I get trying to save money, but now we're spending more.